Was anyone actually surprised who Teen was in the series? Because, come on, you knew.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you are new here. I'm here to give my spoiler review for Agatha All Along, the first and possibly more seasons to come. This stars Kathryn Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, Joe Locke, Patti LuPone, Sashir Zamata, Ali An, and Deborah Jo Rupp. Within the series. This is the sequel series, or the sequel to WandaVision, one of, if not still one of the best Marvel television shows that they have done on Disney Plus. And this series did not disappoint at all. This sees Kathryn Hahn's Agatha Harkness, who is still under the spell of the Scarlet Witch from the end of WandaVision, being broken out by Teen, played by Joe Locke. And Agatha is being chased by Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, and also the Salem 7. In order to try to escape and to reclaim her former powers, she has to journey down the fabled Witch's Road, along with a coven of other witches who have been rather bound by spells or who are schizophrenic when it comes to their placement within their own timeline, or who are mainly there to avenge or to try to locate what happened to their mother. And then there's Sharon Davis, who was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This series is about 9 episodes. It's debuted all through the month of October, and the finale was like 2 weeks ago. I'm finally getting around to giving my thoughts on it. It's a really good series. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed not only everyone's performances, but the representation of queer characters unapologetically on screen. It was just a really good series. I'm really happy with it. Kathryn Hahn's Agatha Harkness is through and through, and I really do appreciate this, is a complex villain. Because she does bad things. She's a manipulator, she's a liar, but she does it out of a place of pain, which is understandable, but I also kind of appreciate the series didn't really shy away from her misdeeds and continued misdeeds all through The Witch's Road. This will contain spoilers for the series, so if you haven't watched it, you are being warned in 3, 2, 1. The Witch's Road is complete bullshit.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
The Witch's Road was a made-up song done by Agatha with her son, who unfortunately was not long for this world. And Rio, who is the embodiment of death itself, is the one who's kind of trailing Agatha, not out of malice or misdeeds, but she genuinely loves her. And the feeling is mutual from what I can tell, even though Agatha blames Rio a lot for the death of her son and just life and fate in general. So their relationship is complex, but also heartbreaking because of how the series ends with Agatha, I guess, sacrificing herself for Teen, who Teen, by the way, played by Joe Locke, is Billy Maximoff, the son of the Scarlet Witch and Vision. We last saw him as a little boy, but when the Hex, or the Cube, I forget I think it was just called the Hex, when that collapsed in on itself, he, in the moment of William Kaplan's death in a car crash, moved into the vessel and basically was reincarnated into the world as a real boy, unlike being a construct of his mother's grief and broken psychosis. So the series, and the reason Billy wanted to traverse the Witch's Road, was so he can try to find Tommy, his twin brother, who also disappeared when the Hex was released. I really like Joe Locke's performance as Billy Maximoff, or William Kaplan, or an amalgamation of both. Love the fact that they did not shy away from his queerness and him being in love and having a stable boyfriend who completely was supportive, which I'll be curious to see how that goes, or are we going to get Hulkling at some point in time? Unsure, but I'm glad we got that relationship as well, very similar to Agatha and Rio's relationship in the series too. The fact that Witch's Road was bullshit, it's interesting when you go back and watch the beginning 3 or 4 episodes of it, because things start to make sense as to how the road was created. And if you haven't been able to pinpoint it by now, the road was created by Billy Maximoff himself. Agatha made the road up, and she was gonna just do what she's always done with that song, is to lure witches in, absorb their power, kill them, and move on. But when the road appears, she looked shocked for obvious reasons. It's very funny looking back at it and realizing like, oh, she knew the entire time that this was who he was, even though like you couldn't see when he would say it. You would think someone put it on him. He put it on himself, I guess, is a weird way, like subconsciously. But Agatha, being the intelligent witch that she is, she figured it out. The other witches on the road: Jennifer, Alice, Lilia. Lilia and Alice do not survive the road. Unfortunately, does put the blame on Billy, and he accepts it inadvertently or unfortunately. Lilia, who technically sacrificed herself so that they could escape the Salem 7, which are a bunch of witches who were the children of the witches that Agatha killed. So though they were real, and it makes you start to look back at the series and like, okay, what was real and what was a manifestation of Billy's powers? Because by the end of the series, we do get our hero shot of Billy in his full Wiccan outfit, which A, looks amazing and fantastic. B, I love the subtle details because they released like a little special when they talked about the costume design of it. And this is the stuff I like about things like this with costume design. The subtleties within the design of his suit, while it invokes a lot of the comic book adaptation of it. The little subtle things like the outer parts of his red cape or cloak, representative of his mother's, the Scarlet Witch's design for her outfit, while inside is representative of his father, Vision's design of his cape. So he has both of his parents with him. So it'll be interesting whenever, if Scarlet Witch returns, how that relationship is going to go. Makes sense if they decide to continue more of Agatha's story with her now being a ghost and being there for Billy as he searches for Tommy, because we know Tommy is out there now thanks to Agatha's help. I like those aspects and potential future of the series. I just don't know when those things are going to happen. Like I said, the other 3 witches, I really enjoyed their performances. Alice was a protection witch, and her mother supposedly died on the road, but now that we know the road wasn't real, I'm guessing her mother died due to the curse that was on her family that she was able to break thanks to this journey. And she died protecting the other members of the Covenant from Agatha, with Rio being the embodiment of death and how she ushered her off into the afterlife. It is very representative of like how death can just happen. You might not feel like it's your time, but you don't determine your time. So that's why it's important to live any way, shape, or form best that you can, because you never know when your time is up. Aubrey Plaza, just as an actress, she's always so engaging, and it's hard to not enjoy her performances because they're so over the top at certain points. It just makes it entertaining to watch. I loved her performance, and I was super happy with that. Patti LuPone's Lilia, sorry if I'm messing up names, how she lived her life was broken in terms of like she was living her life out of order. And again, this is kind of what makes me want to watch the series again, is that how if you go back and see the moments where she just starts rambling or talking about something that makes no sense, when you start putting the pieces together, you see her entire story. And the way they did it in her last episode, I thought was so cool to watch how that happens. And that was the episode after it's revealed who Billy is. Again, that whole mystery of who Teen was, I like that they tried to like do a red herring, like this might be Agatha's son who somehow is reincarnated or something like that, which showed Agatha's motherly side, because we get that in episode 9 where we get to see what happened with her son, because there was a rumor that she had traded her son for the Darkhold to Mephisto. The first time Mephisto's name was actually spoken in a series, but again, just very similar to
Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Very much a red herring. It's just a really good series. It was a series I wasn't expecting to be that good, but it was also one where I was concerned that it was kind of just there as like the cash in on a popular character that just came out of the blue of Agatha Harkness. But they told a very well-paced and deeply thought out story about someone who is hurt, but who's also not necessarily a good person, but they also have qualities that one could say could be redeemed. And I think that's why her transitioning from being alive to being dead, but also still present, is a way that if you want to do this redemption arc with the character, you can actually do that. And now that we've introduced the actual physical embodiment of death itself, I would love to see Aubrey Plaza come back in a future project. I think that would be awesome. If they do a sequel, I don't know if it would be called Agatha All Along. It might be called something else. And even the title Agatha All Along makes so much more sense because the concept of the show was all about the Witch's Road and all this stuff like that. But when you realize the road was BS and it was just a way that Agatha could draw power from other witches and kill them, it was Agatha All Along. But technically it was also Billy all along, if you think about it, because he's the one who manifested the road. It was a series I was unexpectedly interested in. And after watching it, and even the Witch's Road ballad was super popular after it debuted, it was a pleasant surprise and really kind of continued Marvel's trend of like putting out some bangers this year. Because you had your Deadpool and Wolverine, you had your X-Men 97. This one just also was really good. So I'm very much looking forward to where these remaining characters end up. You can't give us Wiccan without giving us Speed. And this just continues the march towards Young Avengers, which hopefully we'll get before the next Avengers movie. So they've got a few years, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But that is going to do it for this review for Agatha All Along. I definitely know I missed a bunch of stuff. So feel free to let me know all of that stuff in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the series as well. And if you would be interested in seeing where Jen ends up, where Agatha and Billy end up, if we're going to see Tommy pretty soon, if we're going to get the Maximoff kids doing their thing within the MCU, let me know all that stuff and your interest in the comments. I would be greatly appreciative and love to interact with you. So thank you so much for checking out this review. I do greatly appreciate it. I say that all the time, but I mean it 100%. If this happens to have been the first time you checked out one of my review videos or videos in general, welcome. My name's Will again. I do geeky stuff on this internet, reviews, reactions, live streams, a whole bunch of different stuff. I just like to have fun, and I hope you do as well. If this happens to be your bag, you're interested in hearing it from a queer person like myself, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on most social media platforms. All of them are DGeekWill, so feel free to give me a follow on those as well. Subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Check out some of the other videos that we have on here as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, I will catch you later. See ya.